In three, two, one. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34, and tonight we have DC in the building. How you doing tonight, DC?
I'm here, man. It's been a day, but I
Nah,
get to talk stuff, so that's always one of my favorite things to do when the day goes long is to be able to talk mess and enjoy myself.
I'm with it, man. I am in the same lane with you. Yeah. Well, for you and for the folks out there who might be unfamiliar with the show, let me just break it down real quick. We're gonna start off with some warm-up questions. After the warm-up, we'll jump into an icebreaker, and then we'll get into the main meat of the podcast, which is the wheel of fate, where we'll spin the wheel, whichever number it lands on. That's how the conversation will kind of flow. And then after that, we'll end out with some closeout questions. How's that sound to you, DC?
Oh, it's your show, sir. I'm here.
I got you, man. I got you. Well, all right. Well, before all that, man, in general, I like to ask my guests, how you been? You've been doing well. You've been doing great. In general, how you feel like you've been doing?
I'm in somewhere in between. It's been a week, but I can't complain because I'm still here, still doing what I love to do,
Yep.
and enjoying myself. So that's it. Like I can't complain. So I'm not going to because nobody want to hear it anyway.
Well, just know I'm a listener, dog. Like more than talking. So if we get to those points, feel free if you feel like ranting or going in on something, man. I'm here to
Be
listen.
careful what you ask for. I tell people, man, you got to let the jukebox play. That's my favorite saying. Sometimes once I get started, it's you got to cut me off. We'll be here all night. I'm one of them people.
It's perfect.
I start off kind of slow, but then once I get going, I go.
Sounds perfect, man. Sounds perfect. All right then. Well, without further ado, let's get into the warm-up. My first question for you in the warm-up is, what would you like the audience to know about you, man? If you're meeting people for the first time, like we're meeting right now, what's some disclaimers that you would like to give about yourself?
Despite my loud and boisterous personality, I'm actually I guess introvert. Like when I'm not on the mic or doing a show or something like that, I put my phone down, I play video games, I chill with the family. I don't really do a lot of I think I'm a different kind of podcaster. Like I don't seek the limelight, but I enjoy it. But at the same time, I'm not doing it for like fame or fortune, all that. If it happens, so be it. But I just really started my show because it was during the pandemic, 4 years ago. Dad passed away. I was in school at media school. Everything shut down. So, you got three different schools on a Zoom call. So you got about 500 people talking and running their mouth on Zoom, which Zoom already sucks because, the picture quality sucks, the audio sucks. And now you got people just sounding muffled. And it was a lot. So I had a friend who asked me to be on his podcast. Next thing I know, I'm starting my own podcast. And I guess the rest is history, as they say, because I'm still here doing it.
I got you, man. And for your podcast, do you typically do like what we doing right now through like a video call, or you actually have a spot for
StreamYard? I use StreamYard, so there's a lot of virtual guests and everything like that. Looking to maybe one day go, more in person, but right now virtual it works because it allows everybody, no matter where you are, to be on the show, which is what I really like and what I really enjoy about it. I mean, I've had people from Toronto all the way down to Florida to California, and in between. So
I got
it's
you.
been fun.
Yeah, man. No, I'm the same way. I would like to grow into like an in-person studio type thing, but yeah, everything's virtual because it is very convenient. Not just for ourselves, but for our guests too, right? They don't got to go anywhere and all that stuff.
Special, I got to put somebody up in a green room hotel, all that stuff that I don't really want to do right now.
Yeah. You think that that hurts us? I'm unsure. Like I don't know. I like to believe
I don't think so, because I actually, what's crazy is because I'm one of them people, I'm crazy and I don't sleep at night or I get these random thoughts. I went back and looked at how many guests I've had because, like I said, 4 years. I just ended season 10 on the 24th. I just started season 11. So I went back and was like, how many guests did I have the first 10 seasons? Mm-hmm. I only got to season 5 in my counting because I was like, yeah, I could do this before a show and just show everybody the numbers. No. So I'm supposed to be doing the rest of the 5 tomorrow, 5 seasons to total. But I think I stopped at 86 total guests through the first 5 seasons. And I think like 9 of them had or at least 22 of them had more than one appearance on the show.
That's
So
dope. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it hurt me. Actually, I think it helped me because I got access to people who normally I probably wouldn't have access to. Because I'm an independent podcaster, because you're an independent podcaster, there's certain people we might not get access
Yeah.
uh, to be able to get in person. So being able to get those same people virtually, one overhead, like I said, I ain't got to put nobody in a hotel. I got to do that other stuff. I ain't got to pay people for their appearance and
Yeah.
all that. I really get these people to open up and have fun, and it's in the comfort of their home. So it also gives them that comfortability that they're at home. So it's not like an audience, studio audience, and all this crazy stuff. It's just us having a regular conversation, and that's what the show really is. It started out, like I said, doing just stupid stuff because we was bored, and then it kind of evolved into having guests and having dope people just come on and tell their stories or talk about whatever they got going on. I've had authors and directors of movies, music artists, so it's been a plethora of people I've had on, and doing it virtually is not, I don't think it's hindered me. Like I said, 86 people, and that's only the first 5 seasons. That's not counting the last 5, which I still have to count. So we could
Yeah.
be looking at these, 100 and let's see, I got 160, 159 episodes in the first 10 seasons. So I probably have more guests than episodes.
That's dope, man. That's dope. And thank you for reframing that for me. I think I don't know how many ventures you've tried to do on your own. I think what's been hard for me all the time is hearing other people's advice or like their thoughts and like, oh, maybe you should do. Why don't you ever do it in person? I'm like, well, I feel like I gotta explain myself. But yeah, it's good to know that you reminded me of all the reasons why I've always preferred this kind of way of getting my guests and getting them on. How do you I don't know if you get that from folks and how do you keep that out of the way you do things pretty much, when people try to tell you should do this,
I'm
Y, and Z.
stubborn. I probably
Yeah, me
I
too.
probably
Me too.
could be further ahead than I was if I wasn't stubborn. So my personality is I was a football coach, basketball coach, sports. So I'm stubborn. I'm gonna do it my way until they fire me, and then I'm gonna try another way. That's the coaching mantra: is do what you do the way you do it until they fire you. Then it don't work. So I ain't been fired yet. I'm still here doing it. So evidently I'm doing something right. But I don't try to listen to people because one thing is your show is your show. You created this show for a reason, so your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody on the outside looking in, yeah, it's easy to tell you how to do something.
Yeah,
Everybody's an expert at something until you have to do it, and then you're not an expert anymore. So I don't try to let nobody who hasn't either, done podcasting or been a content creator try to tell me how to do something they never done. I would never tell a chef how to cook a 5-star meal when I don't even know how to cook, Roman noodles. It just don't make sense for somebody to try to tell me how to run something that I created. Now, there are people who know what they're doing, but I still don't listen to those people. I'm stubborn. It's my project. It's something that I believe in. So until I feel I have it to a point to where I can let it go and let somebody else, get hands on it, I'm not. I try to take certain things, but it's wholesale changes I can't.
Yeah.
I had a falling out with a co-host over that. My first, 4 years ago when I first started, my show is not. We don't pull punches. We joke around, we kid, we have fun, but nobody is. I'm not going to say safe, but we're going to joke. Like if it's in the media and you put it out there, we're going to talk about it. So we were talking about something, and the guy was like, he was on my show. He was like, "Oh, we can't be talking about people like this because one day we're gonna have to." And I'm like, man, we not maliciously talking about nobody. We not spreading rumors. We only talking about what's in the news.
Yeah.
And our opinions, and making jokes about it. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's my personality. I do it at home. My wife gets tired of it. She called me unhinged the other day, which I'll get into that. At first, I thought it was a compliment because I didn't really know what an hinge was at the time. I was just like, "Oh, thank you," but I feel like it's fair game. Like we're not, like I said, we're not out to hurt nobody. We're having fun. But he was just trying to be too politically correct. It's like, dude, we're a podcast. We're not, Channel 8 news or nothing like that. We're not reporting news. We're just reporting our opinions on what we see in everyday life. It's entertainment and pop culture is what we really talk about. So at the end of the day, if it's on the internet, somebody gonna talk about it.
No,
It's just,
yeah.
you know.
I hear that, man, and yeah, I like to tell my guests, at least on this pod, be who you are. Like, I'm not someone who's gonna judge. I can't speak for my audience, but I hope I'm creating a more comfortable platform, so like you could speak your mind. Talked about having a co-host and stuff. I think for me, again, another challenge is bringing people into it, right? Like I don't know if you heard that saying, if you want to go fast, you do it by yourself. If you want to go far, you do it with others. And yeah, for you, have you ever thought about it, and have you tried, and like what kind of challenges
I have 2 co-hosts now on my
sweet.
show.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been through co-hosts because I'm probably not the easiest person to work with.
I got you.
And that's only because, again, it's my show. I'm not really taking them change like well, and I probably should, not be so stubborn. But at the same time, I'm the one who, is late at night, promoting all day, promoting. I don't ask my co-host to promote. They do, but at the same time, I'm the one doing all that. So I know what's working. I know what's not working. I'm trying to, course correct things that need to be, but at the same time, I do things my way, and I know, like I said, it's stubbornness. And my dad was the same way. I'm the same way. Like you said, you are too. It's just, when you when you building something and you stay up late and you focus on this vision and you sacrifice for this vision, it's hard to let somebody else tell you who isn't putting in the work how you should be doing it. Somebody, well, you shouldn't be up till 4 a.m. Well, are you going to do it? Or somebody got to be up till 4 a.m. making these clips and getting this stuff out here. Because if we're not marketing it, then the people don't know. So, somebody got to do it. And right now it's me. So I do have 2 great co-hosts. One, was from the beginning, kind of left, came back, had some personal stuff. Another I know from, my neighborhood. And then, I've had some other ones, and they're all great, but at the same time, things happen, things change, and I'm always trying to keep it fresh.
For sure. And that's dope, man. It's still a road I haven't crossed. Everyone's down to until it's time to do it, right? And
that's the other thing. Like, everybody, oh yeah, I'm doing it, and then when it comes time to do it, it's like, oh man, that's today. Okay.
Yeah, and that I guess doing it solo, or like you're pushing it, I'm pushing it. It's easier. It's easier to control ourselves than it is.
It is faster because I don't have to go to somebody and be like, hey, how do you feel about this? We don't have to have a democratic meeting about everything.
Yeah,
I can do what I want, and under the guise of, hey, I'm the president. I'm gonna do what I want because it's my country. This is, once you step on this stage, you're subject to terms and agreements that I have set forth, and that's just how I feel. Like like I said, I'm not trying to run it like a business, but at the end of the day, I've been doing this 4 years. I've learned enough to know, where my deficiencies are, where, my strong suits are, and what I need help with. And so now my other problem is I don't know how to ask for help. So now I'm working on asking for help. But like I said, I've had some great guests who, found me. So like I said, apparently I'm doing something right. But the guest thing, I mean, the host thing, co-host thing is kind of weird because it depends on the level of involvement of your co-host. Like I said, the 2 I have now, they're involved. One, like I said, we actually have a business together, a production company. So we're really trying to focus on that. I've been doing some podcasts. I guess coaching. I have a show under my belt right now that I'm working on, help getting started from the ground up. I'm actually working on my co-host. He has a show he's about to start doing, so I'm about to be producing on that. And just wherever I can help at. So, it's a team thing now. It's more team. I don't want to be the face anyway. So, I mean, if they want to do it, that's cool. Like I said, I just want to talk mess and fade away from the limelight when I need to. Still be here. So I mean, in due time, you'll probably find some people who are like-minded. It isn't easy because the schedules. I had a co-host who his show was blowing up. So I'm like, at the time, I had a job issue where I missed like 6 months of recording. last year.
Damn.
So I had like 6 months where I was just like working every day, 24-hour days, 7 days a week, no new shows, no nothing. And it hurt because I
Mm.
always talk about, retiring and how much I hate it, but I really do enjoy it. And not doing that for 6 months was a major setback. So when I started coming back, I told the two co-hosts I had at the time, like, hey, you guys are doing something, with your respective shows. I don't want to hold you back because I don't even know where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I had to make a decision. Like, yeah, they were great. They probably would have been, still down and still, good on the show. But I didn't want to be selfish and hold them back because at the time I wasn't sure where I was at.
I hear you, man. Well, I'm glad you're back, man. I'm glad you're back into the flow of things. And to be real with you, you are the person that's getting me back into my routine. Like I've had a not so much a hiatus, but definitely been, I don't know, maybe 3 interviews in the past since January.
Ooh.
And like I work at a school, so our first day of school was yesterday, and yeah, I think I'm just trying to pick up on that energy of like renewal and getting back to things. Also have been doing this since 2021. I wouldn't say 4 years. You got a year on me, but yeah, doing it for a long time, and I think I needed a break too. I just didn't want to admit it. Like, okay, been doing so many times.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Mm.
I think when you've been doing it for so long and you have a routine, like I know every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, I'm
Yeah,
going to be on a show.
yeah,
That's because that's when I do my show. So not doing it for like 6 months, it was like I didn't know what to do. Like
yeah,
Wednesday would come and I'm like, I'm not doing a show. So
yeah. It's like,
every Wednesday for 6 months was like the worst day ever because
oof.
like I said, I enjoy doing it and not being able to do it, not being able to entertain, not being able to, have conversations or just, whatever. It was a killer. So, but I think it was a necessary break because it showed me how much I really love what I do.
Yeah,
And how much I really missed it. Like they say, you don't miss the game until it's gone, you know.
yeah,
And when you get back to it, it's like, okay, now I really love it. Now I
yeah,
know why I really do this, why I get up in the morning, why I go so hard promoting and trying to interact with everybody on a post or, just throughout the day and still maintain a regular life. It's not easy. People don't understand that who don't do this. I had a conversation with a friend about it. He's like, man, I see what you're doing. I think you should do it this way. And I'm like, dog, let me ask you a question. When the last time you woke up at, 3, 4 a.m. to check your Instagram and everything, not because you wanted to, because you had to, because people responded to something and you want to engage with them because that's what the social media say will help your marketing is engaging with these people. So I have
yeah,
to engage with people all day. Then I have to go to work. Then I have to come home and do it again. Plus, also, I have a wife and a son and a dog. So I have to, make time for them. And then I also have to go back to promoting a podcast,
for sure.
and, among other things. So it's not as simple as everybody think where you just plug some things in and then, go about your day and you good. You got to edit episodes and videos, so it's a lot. Um,
It's called
so
the
I don't
whole
think,
the whole workflow takes a lot of time. I
yeah,
understand. Yeah, man, I got you. Is it all right if I throw you the next question in the warm up?
yeah.
All right. How would you like to be honored? So if there's a way I could express the energy you possess, right? What sort of act could I do?
Oh man, I've never been asked that question before. That is, and that's crazy because I've done a lot of shows, even on my own, and still ain't never thought of a question like this one. I don't know. I don't take flowers well. I'm one of them people. My work is my reward.
Mm,
The fact that people enjoy what I do, that's that's an honor to me. Because I grew up in Akron, Ohio. It's a little really small town here in Ohio. So not a lot of people, you know, like when I hit Pandora, to me that was a huge thing. Because
mm,
where I'm from, if you're a musician, you're on Pandora, but as a podcaster, not a lot of people where I'm from can say that. So to me, my work is the honor. I don't need nobody, the praises is cool, but again, football coach. I'm used to, being told I ain't nothing all day until we win a game. And then, it's kind of like, hey, you not as bad as we thought you were, but do it again next week.
yeah, yeah,
So to me, like I said, the honor is just, people enjoying what I do. And the other honor is people actually want to seek me out to come on to the show.
mm,
Because when I first started, man, we had 3 guests, maybe
Mm,
4. And it was bad, and then as we progress, more and more people, the buzz start going, and people want to go on. To me, that's an honor.
for
I don't,
sure.
like I said, I don't think that likely that people, want to take time out of their night to, come talk mess with us just for the heck of it. That's not, especially when you have other things. Like I said, we just talked about so much you go throughout a day, and then to go sit down with total strangers and have a conversation, not always fun. So
Not for
we
most
try to
people,
make
yeah.
it as fun as possible, but that's my honor. I don't need, anything crazy. I just want people to enjoy, the work and the effort, and realize that it's not easy. I'm not complaining because I enjoy doing it, but at the same time, it's not easy. So to be doing it and doing it consistently, that's where the honor is at.
Got you, man. And now we know. Now we know. And then my last question for you in the warm up, DC, is on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
0.
0.
Um, I don't think I've ever. I'm no okay. Let me check. I'm gonna say a 5.
Okay.
It's between 0 and 5. Only because, like I said, my personality, I'm a wild card. Sometimes I don't think before I speak. So I don't know what I'm going to say. But I know who I am as a man, husband, father, son, brother. I try to look out for everybody as I can. I'm very supportive. But I can be crazy. So I think that's where the 5 comes in, because I know who I am. But as far as personality, that's where it's a little hit or miss. One day I'm, the life of the party, and the next day I could be like, hey, I don't even want to see people, let alone be around. So it varies. So it's ever changing. And I think that's what I like about me, because um, I tell a lot of people, you might be able to do what I do, but you can't replicate me. That's the common denominator on my show, is no matter what changes, it's still going to be the same show because I'm there. And the show is built off my personality. It's not scripted. It's not, anything, different, but it's also something new because it's
Yeah.
me. It's just me asking questions and having fun. So I say 5, 6. I know myself.
I got you. I got you. I was gonna say, you brought up in my little questionnaire, in my invite, you said crazy was the one word that defines you. But how would you define crazy? Like, what does that mean to you?
To me, it is creative chaos and
Mm,
control. I could be a loose cannon, but it's always with a purpose. Like I give off crazy, and this is what somebody told me. It was sort of like a mastermind. I appear crazy, but at the same time, behind the scenes, very calculated.
mm.
I took that as an honor, you know, like
Yeah.
But to me, crazy is just being able to change on the fly and not care about, the naysayers. Um,
Stubbornness, a little bit, right?
yeah, a little
Yeah.
stubbornness, a little, little jokerish. I have fun, but at the same time, sometimes, like I said, my wife called me unhinged. So I should tell you, what kind of, lover. And I know she was joking, but at the same time, I know I can be. Like I said, I don't think before I speak sometimes. I try to, but it's just me.
I got
The
you.
thing was never created for me. Um, but I'm still a good person. So to me, crazy is just, like I said, being able to adapt to any different situation, but also maintain who I am in that moment. Like, I've never gotten lost in who I am in doing this. I've seen people around me think after 2 or 3 episodes they're going to be, you know, Russell Simmons, and they're just going to be a media mogul. And I'm just like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy in that fact. I know that I'm going to have to put in the work. I'm crazy in the fact that I'll be up. So here's my good definition of crazy. We'll do this show, and after the show ends, I'll be up for another 2, 3 hours because of the energy that I get from doing this. I
Mm,
think that's what really makes me crazy, is that I wouldn't say I feed off the energy, but it's something about it. When I used to play football, stepping on the field, seeing the lights, that feeling of, okay, it's showtime. People are here. They either pay good money, or they're taking time out of their night because you're on and they want to see you entertain.
Yeah.
So go for it. And then that's where, like I said, that energy comes. And then afterwards, I'm still buzzing a little bit. So I'll be up to, midnight, 1, 2, knowing I got to get up at 3, 4. And I'm still, up either checking posts or Facebook or something. That's what makes me crazy, because I'm always, even when I'm not, I'm always doing something. Even behind the scenes, people don't realize I'm doing a lot. And I don't even speak about it because it's crazy that I should be up at 4 a.m. when I just went to bed at 3.
I got you. I got you. With when did you realize your craziness? Was it something you knew you had as a kid,
Oh,
or you grew into it?
I was born this way. I was born this way. I've been this way my whole life.
Gotcha.
Um, I was born for this role.
Show, man.
I think I really knew when I was 5. I think Beverly Hills Cop just came out, and I was riding my big wheel down the street. And anytime somebody would stop me, they'd be like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I'm Axel Foley. Who the hell are you?" That's when I knew I was like different. I was like, "Yeah, this kid ain't tight. He ain't wrong too tight." But that's just it's just been me. And like I said, I enjoy it. I wouldn't trade my personality for anybody else's. I'm sure there are some great personalities out there, but mine is special to me because it's who I am.
I got you, man. Before we move over to the icebreaker, I'm a big sports guy, and to talk with other people who grew up playing sports, I want to ask you, what was your best sports moment? Like a play or something in your mind where you were like, oh, I can visualize that because that was my greatest highlight from your point of view.
Kobe's last free throw. I grew up a Laker fan because of Kobe. And his last free throw, he tore his Achilles and he's still shooting free throws. And then his last game, it was kind of tough. It was the end of an era. Seeing Kobe, go out the way he did. Yeah, he won more rings after, Shaq left, but it was still like he wasn't, injuries kind of took him, from us quickly on the court. Yeah. And then him passing really hurt. Because again, like growing up, Kobe was my Jordan. Like I'm not a Jordan fan, but Kobe was that guy, so that, and I would say, I'm
gonna switch it up on you. Something, your personal highlight, like a play
mine?
you were a part of. Yeah. Let me switch it up.
Oh, I don't have any. No. They say if those who can't teach. I wasn't a great player. That's what made me a good coach. Yeah, I sucked. Well, I ain't sucked. I just didn't know. So I didn't really take sports seriously.
Gotcha.
Like I enjoyed it, but I didn't do it like because I was trying to go to the league or anything. I just love baseball. Was my first sport because of Ken Griffey Jr. Now that what I was good at. Played center field, hit home runs. I learned Ken Griffey Jr.'s batting stance, all that.
You had the swing. You had the.
We used to play home run derby. So that's what I was good at, home run derby. We used to take tennis balls, and there was a field across the street from my grandma's house, and we would play home run derby. And of course, I was winning. I was bigger and stronger than everybody back then. So, and then it's a tennis ball. If you can't let a tennis ball fly, you suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's not much to it. But playing baseball was probably my favorite. Boring to watch, but it's a good game.
I like the batting cages for sure. That's
yeah. I can go to a batting cage still. Yeah. I might not hit like I used to, but it's been a while. But I mean, I still go just because I enjoy doing it. Basketball I enjoy. Still got a hoop outside. I take my son out there every time I feel like I want to reclaim my youth for he talking mess, just take him outside and show him dad still got it on the court.
For sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like playing sports because I wanted to be great. I just love sports. I love talking about it. I love playing them. I still play sports video games to this day. So I'm still involved with sports. I do a sports podcast with some people. Talk sports on the show. I do mock drafts,
That's That's
Uh,
dope. I need some advice on that, dog. But yeah.
oh yeah, so we do like a like the before the NFL draft. I usually do like a full mock, like first round mock draft, and I'll have people come on and pick for those teams as they if they were the GM.
All
Uh,
32? All like for football?
well, whoever the first, everybody in the first round, we do the whole first round live
Gotcha.
on the show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, so I mean that's fun to me.
Yeah.
It's a way that I can connect, younger sports fans with what's still going on and still relive my coaching and GM days and have fun with it.
That's dope, man. All right, I think we gotta move forward to the icebreaker. But I will wrap it back around. I'm the kind of guy, like, within your answer, I start coming up with more questions and I start losing track of my own.
So
Like,
you like that's how I do. Not to get off track again.
No, you good.
Once you put the dime in, you got to let the jukebox play. I get off tangents, even during the show, because, like I said, I don't script anything, questions or anything. So it's really I start off with the simple baseline psychological questions, and then we go from there. And like you said, when somebody's talking and giving their answer, you start coming up with like a million more questions. So now you're thinking like, which one do I ask?
yeah.
Next? Which one do I think is going to elicit a better answer, or which one do I think is just going to be a good viral thing? So I feel you on that.
Well, since you understand, I'm gonna just throw you another one. Talking about craziness, do you see the craziness in your son? Did he catch that from you, or is he more like a little more calm?
Yeah,
More
my
calm?
son he's so we have weird sense of humor.
Got you.
And then today it made me happy because I've been playing college football since it came out.
I feel that. Yeah.
So my son, when I first started playing, he's like, "Oh, you playing college football? It must be fun because you play it all the time." Oh, it's amazing. So today my son was like, "Yeah, Dad, I see it. I see why you play the game all the time."
What he
I said,
say?
"What you mean?" He's like, "Well, because my wife, let him use her system. He played it over her mom's house, hooked on it. He didn't play it on his phone. He done hooked his controller up to his phone to play it. He been playing. I don't hardly see him now because he's been playing the game so much." So to me, that was like, okay, I can see it. I see his taste in music. I'm a Kanye fan, Kendrick, Lil Wayne. So I start hearing him listen to that kind of music. The clean version, though.
I got you.
Seeing those musical influences is like, man, that's dope. That I have that. Somebody is looking up to me, so I have to make the right decisions and make sure that as crazy and loose as I am around him, I want to make sure that I'm setting a good example. That hard work. Yeah, you can have fun, but you still have to put the work in. And I think that's the biggest lesson that I try to teach them. No matter what you do, if your school grades ain't right, or your room ain't clean, or house we ask you to do something, you don't do it. None of that fun matters, because once you become an adult, you can't go to your job and be like, you know what, I don't feel like doing that. You're gonna be on your own. So it starts at an early age. I try to teach them, at an early age about work ethic and getting up early, do what you need to do, and then you can have fun. Once the work is done, you can have fun. That's why a lot of people don't understand. Like you got to do the work first. You're not gonna get rewarded without doing the work. So that's one thing I try to instill on him, is making sure you're doing the work on time, and putting your best into it. And that's all we can ask for. We know things gonna happen. You're still young. You still got a lot to learn. You're allowed to make mistakes, but at the same time, make sure you're not keep making the same mistakes.
Yeah. That's hard. That's the hard part, man. I still make the same mistakes ever since I was a kid. So.
Oh man, I'm grown and I've made mistakes. I forget to put the toilet seat down sometimes. So I'll use the bathroom, go to bed, then my wife will get up and I'm like, oh, the fear. You ever have fear? It's so hard. The fear of not remembering if I put the toilet seat down. I get cold sweat as soon as she leave the bed. I'm like, did I put the toilet seat down? Oh, I think I did, but I didn't. Did I hear my name? Oh yeah, I didn't put it down.
Yeah, you hear a yell. You're like,
that is fear, fellas. If you don't know fear, leave that toilet seat up when your wife got to use the bathroom and see what happened.
Yeah.
Cold sweats and fear. Like, ain't no horror movie, nothing. That is fear, man.
You never want to forget again, man. You never want
to. And I one time, this morning, matter of fact, this morning,
yeah.
She walked in. I was like, oh, I didn't close the bathroom. I had the cartoon feet where I was trying to run like Fred
Yeah, 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 yeah.
with the cover seat.
I forgot
Hey,
something.
yeah, man, that's fear.
I hear that, man. All right, dog. Let's we made it to the halfway point of the pod. I think it's a perfect time to head over to the icebreaker. So in this icebreaker, you're going to have 34 seconds. Let me ask you right now, would you rather do a this or that or a word association in these 34 seconds?
Oh man, I like this or that.
This or that. Okay, I got you. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Night or morning?
Night. Yeah, I'm a
Staycation,
night owl.
staycation or vacation?
Because of my wife vacation, she hates vacations.
Sort by price or by rating?
I'm a rating guy. You got to be good rating on it.
Win a race or win a debate?
I'd rather win a debate because I hate running.
Group group hangout or one-on-one hangout?
I'm more of a one-on-one, man. Now that I'm older,
And I think the last one for you is you rather hang out with little kids or hang out with older folks?
kids say the funniest stuff. Well, actually, I wish I could choose both because old folks say some funny stuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would say kids only because like my nieces and nephews are so funny to be around, the way they talk to each other and then try to, the back and forth, and then they try to play victim. It's so fun.
I feel it, man. You mentioned coaching. What age range were you coaching? Younger kids, older kids?
I coach 8 to 10-year-olds, and then I also coach high school.
Okay, 8 to 10 year olds. That must have been fun. I'm sure they said a lot there.
Oh man, it was, especially when they were new to the sport. So when they're new to the sport, it's the best thing ever. Watching them run, tackle, trying to do it, but also not knowing what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so it's just like all over the place. But to see the final product at the end of the year of them actually learning and the ones who took the coaching and, like again, that buzzword, put in the work,
Hmm.
that's rewarding, seeing them not only because a lot of people think football is, just hitting and all that, but it's a chess game. You have
Yeah,
to outthink your opponent. And I was a defensive coach, so I had to anticipate what the offense was doing and put people in the right position to make sure we made stops. So that's not easy, especially when you're dealing with kids who, don't know what they're doing, don't know what a zone is, a man coverage, none of that stuff. So you really start with the basics, and that was fun for me to be able to start at the basics, reteach the game from the ground up, as opposed to high school where they, had different kind of coaches and, sometimes pick up bad habits. Now you got to reteach them habits. But when it's a clean slate and they're just starting, it's very rewarding to see at the end of the year if they took to it, and now they're, you see in the next year, they spent the summer, working out or well, not in that age range. Let me not say working out, but at least running and depending on how crazy their parents is, they might have been working out.
that's true. That's true.
I've seen parents having a little 10-year-old lifting weights, like he was in middle school, and I'm just like, okay.
Did
But just seeing that reward of those kids, the discipline you get from sports, the teamwork, the camaraderie, learning to work with people who you might not even know or different backgrounds and just that melting pot of being around different people, having different experiences, learning different things, and talking to different people is fun.
for sure. Have you had the chance to see like an 8, 10 year old that you've coached go into high school and coach them in high school, or not too much?
I did when I was coaching. I had a few players. One
Mm.
actually kind of got kicked off the team because he's bad. But
I call
I
them
kind of,
knuckleheads. Just being a
yeah,
knucklehead. Yeah,
he got too big for his shoulder pads. He was,
got you.
when you think you're the star, it's kind of hard to take that away from you. And I'm not one of them people. If you think you're a star, the game is going to show you you're not, one way or the other. If you're not, so you can fake it so much, but the game will expose you. I mean, we didn't see plenty of athletes, leave college, Heisman winners and all Americans and get to the NFL, and it's like a whole new ball game and deer in the headlights type thing. So being humble and, like I said, just doing what you're supposed to do goes a lot further than you thinking you above the team.
For sure, for sure. And you sort of mentioned parents. Did you ever have to deal with any crazy parents, or they've been?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather podcast with a lion, live here than deal with parents on the sideline, because every
Yeah.
parent thinks their kid is, the
The
next Mike
one. Yeah.
Vick or Lamar Jackson or Barry Sanders. It's like, ma'am, your son is 5'2", 100 pounds. He is not. He is not the next Ray Lewis. I'm sorry. Maybe one day, and I'm not gonna ever tell them they're not. But you got to have realistic expectations of where they're at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to ignore it because they're where I was at. They were right behind us, so you can hear them. You'll have some walk up, hey, put my son in. He's been working, and okay, we put him in. Johnny just got burnt for 30 yards. Yeah, go work again.
Yeah. Let's take him at it one more time.
Yeah, we'll work on him in practice. So you see, who's been doing work in practice versus whose parents want them to just get in the game so they can
Record that video.
That's really what it is. And I'm like, I'm not here for you to try to put your son on a highlight mixtape and one mixtape at the age of 10 to try to get him a scholarship to Nebraska. I'm not here for that. I'm here to teach him the game and how to be a well-adjusted young man going forward in life.
Yeah, that's true, man. The high school I work at, football team's not that great. I feel like a lot of parents get on the coach for a lot of reasons, but when you talk to the players though, they have a lot of respect for the coach, and they're like, he's taught me a lot more about life than it is about football. So.
And that's what it is. Like, the parents only see the money aspect. The players who actually are getting something out of it, they will say what you just said. We might not win a game. We might go 1-9, 1-10, whatever, the season is. But I'm learning so much as far as, I learned how to tie a tie this year. We went to study hall and, coach, it's so much more than, like I said, it's more than just a game.
For sure.
Like, the game is surface level. Like I said, it's learning so much more. Because I learned a lot about myself when I only played 1 year of high school. Not gonna lie, I played my senior year. But I learned so much about myself in that 1 year that it changed me going forward, and kind of helped me be who I am today. So you learn about yourself in those situations, when you're down, when the season isn't going how it's supposed to go, and you lose in every game, how are you going to react? Are you going to keep coming to practice and showing up and still putting in work? Or are you going to, sit in the stands and acting like, well, I'm the team and they're not winning because of me? We weren't winning with you. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. So it teaches you a lot about who you are on the inside. How do you handle that adversity of losing, or not having a good performance, or the season not being what you thought it was going to be? Who are you at the end of that? So
I'm gonna have to clip that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clip that, man. I know a lot of the players, the students I work with, I can see their frustration sometimes, and I would say 90% are with you though. Like, they understand, but then there's that 10% who do feel, they lose sight of what they're really gaining, because they have their ego stuff too, and we all do.
Like I said, I didn't seen it. I didn't seen players who thought, they were going to be the man, and then when they weren't, they start sulking around the school, head down. It's like, that's not a player I want to go battle with. If we losing and you talking about your stats, it's pointless.
Yeah.
Like, I'm worried about your numbers and we're not winning. It's a team. You can try to put yourself above, but without the team, I had a quarterback 1 year who thought he was just like the man. He was berating his lineman. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to tell you to stop, because here's what's going to happen. Those big dudes in front of you have to protect you. You keep on talking to them a certain way, they're going to move. And then it's going to be an accidental on purpose.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing you want, is somebody to accidentally on purpose get you hurt because they move out the way. It's one of them look out blocks, like, hey, look out. And then just let the linebacker go by, and now you get crushed. You know what I mean? So you have to look out for your teammates and treat them with respect, because that's your family. Them are your brothers. Y'all go to war every week. Well, I'm not going to say battle on the field, court, whatever it is. Those are the people to the left of you and the right of you that you have to, play for and play with. And if you're not going to, be good. You're not going to win.
I got you, man. All right, DC, we got about 15 minutes left. Want to thank you again for stopping by. I thank you for sharing your stories and perspective, man. And I hope you're having a good time as well.
Oh yeah, man, I'm enjoying this.
Right on.
I said this is different.
I got you.
I like something that's different. You know, like I said, you be on different shows and some of them feel the same. It's just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I like this.
I appreciate it, man, because you have experience, and if you're telling me this feels different, that's what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going
man.
for.
This what you were doing. I'm not gonna lie to you because I went through the rundown. I was like, man, this is very. I've seen a couple rundowns before. And people hand me like, oh, this is how the show's gonna work. What you have is it works, and it's also calming. You know,
Mm,
even though somebody who might have done this, I don't need to be calmed, but somebody who hasn't done this, I can see how this helps them, integrate and feel at ease because you kind of know what's going to happen.
right on.
But man, what you're doing is amazing. I really enjoy this.
Thank you, DC. Well, within the next few minutes, let's crunch in a few more questions. Let me pull up the wheel, give it a spin, and just remember, if there's any question that's too deep, too personal, something you don't want to talk about, feel free to pass. I'm not tripping, and it looks like you got 23, 24. I feel like I want to give you 24. Since you said Kobe, you were more a Kobe guy than
Yeah,
a Jordan guy.
one for
So,
Kobe.
how do you recharge? So that's my question for you for 24. How do you recharge?
Music,
Music.
video games, and family. So like I said, I'm one of the people, man. If I don't have to have my phone in my hand, I will forget it's gone because I'll set it down somewhere for hours.
Mm.
I like to turn music on. 90 to 2000s R&B is my zone. I might go to 2015 if I'm feeling froggy.
Yeah.
Music, family, and just getting away from it all, man. Just being able to not think about stuff is really what it is about. Like I said, music, video games, and family. That's how I recharge.
I hear that, man. And as far as music goes, what do you think is the most underrated song? I know that's a big question, but it's the first time to come off your head is underrated. And let me tell you this now. I'm from the West Coast. I'm from the Bay Area out here in California, and you said you're from Ohio.
Yep.
Who's an artist that I probably haven't heard of, and then you're like, you need to listen to this person. And let me tell you my taste. It's more like conscious hip hop. So anything with like good smooth 90s jazzy beat type thing. Anyone from the Midwest that kind of has that.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't answer that.
Okay, all good. I was just wondering, man.
I just like I said, my music ranges. I listen to some new artists, but like I said, I really stick with R&B.
I got you.
Especially like because everybody has that time period to where you just listen to music and it takes you back.
Yes.
To that, especially when you're trying to relax. Them fond memories. So I would say, if I had to tell you one person, we have a rapper here in Ohio. His name is Flames Oh God.
Flames on God. Okay.
Flames Oh God. Yeah, he's good.
Okay, I'll check him out. Flames on God. Yeah, I don't know if for the longest time before I found out the knowledge, I had this theory about how, like, for any generation, no matter what age, there's always that sweet spot for music, right? Like it's I would want to say like 6th grade to maybe junior year of high school, those songs are always going to be classic, right? That was a theory, right? That was a theory. And then I found out there's a study on it. Like, people actually research this stuff, and it is, I think the range is 10 years old to 14 is like whatever music you're consuming at that time, whatever you're feeling, sticks with you. Go ahead.
Your formative years. I've read, because I me and a friend was talking about it. He was like, I don't know why that music. I was like, his dog, you was doing all the craziest stuff in your life to some of that music. You was in the clubs dancing on girls, to some of that music. So hearing it brings back those memories. You might be married, you're not gonna tell your wife what you was thinking about during that song.
Yeah.
You still was thinking about it, So it's just comfort music. That's how I look at it. Those were the songs that, when I was younger and the world wasn't as big as it is now, because when you're young, you don't know how big the world is.
Yeah.
You only know what's outside your front porch and as far as you can go at that time. So, especially once I started driving, that's when that music really started, feeling different. Once I was able to drive and, ride around, and during that time, it was when I started driving, like 2012. especially around 2012 when I was driving. Everybody was trying to play music loud and show off the girls. That music really, like, I still play that today. Like,
I
I'll still
got you.
go back and find music that I forgot about by accident or Shazam or something, or it'll play on some weird playlist, and I'm like, damn, I think I remember that song. And then I go back and listen. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that time.
That's one of my favorite things now that I'm an adult, when like music I listened to as a kid just pops up randomly, and like I forgot about this. And yeah,
I
so
found so many songs that I forgot about just randomly scrolling through TikTok or something. I'm like, damn, why does that beat sound familiar? And then you got to go Shazam it or iTunes. You're like, oh god, yeah, that was 8th grade.
yeah. Nah, I feel you, man. I feel you, DC. All right, dog. Let me push you forward to the next thing. So I know I had some closeout questions for you, but there's an exercise I like to do with my guests. It's called the 34th mantra. So I have this phrase: I am, I can, I will. So I am blank, I can blank, I will blank. How would you fill that in for yourself?
I am me. I can do anything I want if I really wanted to. And I will try to make the world a better place, because that's what at least we should do.
I got you, man. I got you. All right, dog. Well, here we are at the closeout questions. The next question for you is actually a question from my previous guest. So shout out to Vince. Vince's question for you, DC, is are you comfortable in the position you're in right now? Or is there anything else that you feel like you need to do?
I don't ever want to get comfortable. Ever. Don't ever want to get complacent. I think that's what makes me crazy, because once I feel comfortable, I feel like I got to move on and do something else. You never want to, because you never want to feel like you stuck. Because if you keep doing the same thing and you don't never at least switch it up just a little bit, just to, give yourself a challenge, then it's not worth doing. Anytime I do a podcast, I'm nervous before it. And if I don't feel nervous before it, then I don't feel like it's going to be a good show.
Interesting. Yeah, I hear that.
I told my wife, oh man, I'm nervous. She was like, wow, you done this before? I was like, I don't know. If I get nervous before a show, I know it's going to be a great show. Yeah. Don't know why. Ever since day one of me doing this, if I feel nervous before a show, I know it's going to be great. I was nervous before this. I was like, man, I don't know. I see the rundown, I see the questions, but I don't know. And it's not, me being scared. That's just how I operate. That's what makes me crazy.
No, I hear you, man. Like once we get on stage, sometimes like I get nervous too, man. Like I'm sure a lot of pro athletes out there, they get nervous before the game, and yes, it's good because I think it shows us that we care about what we're about to do. It's good to keep calm and keep level-headed, but like, man, are you not thinking about it? Are you not, feeling any type of way? That's maybe we're just not at that level. I don't know.
I'm not like that, because I can't. I had a guy who was too comfortable. He was like, "Oh yeah, I feel it." Came in the show, bombed. I was like, "Man, you were too comfortable."
Oh, I got you. Yeah,
you was too comfortable. You he was like, well, I was like, oh shit.
Too comfortable.
Yeah, too comfortable. So I never want to get too comfortable with anything. My wife, nothing. I always want to feel like there's something I need to do to make it better. That's just the way I'm wired. I'm always looking, how can I advance? How can I grow? How can I, shift this to another level, or at least, expand out a little further. Like I said, complacency is a killer. There's a lot of dreams, people just sitting like, oh, well, I got this dream, but I'm gonna wait to do it, because I'm comfortable where I'm at doing this. Nah.
Yeah. And I hear that, man. My second to last question for you, DC, is what would you like to ask the next guest on 34 Questions?
Oh, man. Man.
You're shooting blind right now, you just whatever.
Okay.
You said you had like some psychological questions earlier. I think you like to start off with them. I'm kind of curious what that meant.
So, like, a lot of times I'd like to do like you do icebreakers. I think last week I asked my co-host, I was like, because I had my PR guy who, phenomenal. I had him and my two co-hosts, and I was like, hey, let's say you guys go to a party and there's the three of y'all, and there's three girls that's trying to talk to y'all. And I point them out and say, hey, girl A, she got a pretty face, but no body, stick figure.
Okay.
I say, girl B, she's pretty, but underneath her nails is constantly like some kind of weird goo. No matter how much she clean, it's like she got venom under her nails.
Okay.
And then the third one, she was pretty, but her voice was like Morgan Freeman. She just was always deep, raspy. Like every morning, it was just like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you had to wake up. And I asked them, "How would y'all feel about that?" And he was like, I guess we gonna do it. And I was like, "Oh, y'all weird because y'all like me because it was superficial the things I gave them, but I just wanted to see, how they would deal with those personalities and those traits, or is it the superficial or the official that you guys are looking at, So they was like, yeah, we'll still talk to her, the girl with no body. Hey, she got a face, she pretty, she probably got a beautiful personality. Dude, with the goo on her nails, he was like, I just have her put gloves on. And the one with the breath, he's like, we just gonna thug it out. We just both gonna be cigarette voice in the morning every morning. That's our love language. Just deep raspy voice at 2 a.m. So it's just questions like that I'll just be thinking of like when I'm randomly doing nothing. So those are the questions that I ask. So if I had to ask a question for the next guest, when's the last time you done something nice for somebody without anything in return or looking for anything in return?
I got you. I'm just writing it down real quick. When's the last time you did something nice without looking for anything in return or expecting anything in return? Something nice. Anything in return. I got you, DC. Yeah, we'll see who gets this. I think I like to answer these questions too, like the one right before the end. And it sucks because I don't like to boost myself up, right? I don't know if you're the same. Like, we just do what we do, and that's what it is, right? Yeah, but like we do what we do, and that's how it is, right? I think I just put myself in a position, especially with what I do working at a school, where that's what it is. Like, I have to do things for students, and I'm not really expecting them to do something for me back. Like, what can they even do? It's like, no, I'm just serving the community, man. And I'm fortunate and blessed to have that a part of my life where I don't know if you worked a bunch of jobs. I've worked a bunch of jobs, and
yeah,
a lot of them don't give you that feeling. A lot of those jobs isn't soul filling, or like, it is very transactional sometimes. And one reason why I don't like climbing the ladder at any particular spot, and why we want to create our own things, is because there's a lot of politics, and there's a lot of yeah, right. And
so I was a transportation lead at my last job so right now I work at a non-profit food pantry, and we give out
dope.
food to families. I go pick up food from a food bank to we do a backpack program where we take bags of food to schools so kids can have something to eat. Very rewarding. Don't pay much at all. I took a major pay cut doing this job, but it's also, something I think I needed, before I move on to another job, for the money. But it was something I needed to cleanse my soul, because my last job, I was a transportation lead for a year, and I would never be a supervisor, manager, none of that. Not like an official, because it's just, everything falls on your head. Even though I was working, like, that's the job where I lost 6 months of my life, because I was literally lost 2 drivers, and I had to drive myself. I was on call. I'm literally working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they had the nerve to tell me I couldn't get a raise until there was time for them to do something, even though my time for a raise had came up. So then I had a driver who was trying to quit, and then my boss was like, well, I don't know what you're going to do. You're about to have a driver quitting, probably going to have another one quitting. I'm like, because they don't want to work. We have grown men who don't want to work. You want to collect a paycheck, but you don't want to work. Again, football coach, somebody who, since the age of 11 has been working. I don't want to hear grown men don't want to work. To me, I'm not babying a grown man. And that's what she wanted. She wanted me to coddle them. And I'm like, they're grown. I don't coddle my son. I tell you, I get my son up at 6 a.m. and, have him do dishes or something, whatever he didn't do last night. Get that routine of getting up early in the morning and putting in work. That way you can do stuff. So I quit right on the spot. I was like, I don't know what you're going to do. I'm quitting.
It sounds like a you problem,
I don't know what you're going to do.
I got you, man. I got you. And I think that's why we build what we build, and our own thing. All right, DC, my last question for you in the podcast. 100, 200, 300 years from now, our descendants are watching this video. What would you like to tell them?
If you're watching this, it's too late for me. To save the future, and don't look under my mattress. I know it's 200 years later, but I still got some stuff under there that I don't want nobody to see. No, if I could tell them, just like I said, do the work. Like, it's easy to say that you want to be the best or you want to be rich, but you're not going to get rich not doing anything. Like, it just very few win the lottery and get rich, and then that's it. You know, most people who have money work for it. You know, unless you were handed it, then that's a different story. I can't say nothing about that. But do the work. Treat people with kindness, make people laugh, and just be a good person. The world is full of assholes. We got so many of those, and it's easy to be one. I'm usually one, but I'm a lovable asshole. But at the same time, it's easy for people to be malicious and only worry about themselves and only do for themselves. And that's not how we should be. If you can help somebody even once a day, do it.
I got you, DC. I hear you. We hear you. And I want to thank you again, man, for stopping by. Any plugs you want to throw out there? Where can people find you? How can they, support you?
Pretty much everywhere except for Facebook. It's What the Shit podcast. You check out the website, www.whattheshitpodcast.com. On Facebook, it's What the Stuff, because Mark Zuckerberg don't want to be the shit, but that's cool. His law. But everywhere it's What the Shit. Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, anywhere that you can get your streaming media, I'm pretty much there. Spreaker, Jollof Media, which is a Nigerian podcast service. We're being played in Nigeria, so it's a lot. Everywhere. Let's just say that, because we'll be here all night if I start listening to stuff. So just
for
everywhere.
sure.
What the Shit. You can find me there. You want to be on the show? Come on. We're always open. The doors are always open. I try not to turn too many people away. Especially ones who are doing positive stuff. I've had to turn some people away because they just wanted to try to use the show for their own gain, which is no.
Yeah. I got you. I don't know if that was an invite to the audience or to me, man, but
it was a little bit of both, man. We was,
I'd be there.
Things are like on the shit side, join us and talk a little shit, man.
For sure, man. For sure. I would love to do that. So, whenever we can make that work off camera, and I appreciate it.
I'll send you the fucking link, man. We ain't gotta worry about it.
Any last
get us in? Any last words?
Any last words you'd like to add before we head out, man?
Now just be positive. Be yourself. Everybody has a hard time being themselves. It's hard to be somebody else, so just be you. You are you for a reason, and that's it.
Right on, DC. Thank you, and I want to thank the folks out there. If you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, appreciate your time as well. Please remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace. And then I'm gonna let the credits roll a little bit.